What's up, interpreters? My name is Dan Jenkins, naturalist, Cleveland Metroparks in Cleveland, Ohio, at North Sugar Nature Center.
What is up, interpreters? This is Song, your NAI events and conferences manager. And
What is up, interpreters? I am NAI Executive Director Paul Caputo. So glad to be here today talking with Dan Jenkins, who I met for the very first time at NAI's National Conference this past year in St. Augustine, Florida. Dan's doing some great work at Cleveland Metroparks, and we're going to get into that a little bit. We will also get into the fact that Dan won the annual 5K race this year, smoked all of us in it.
yeah, he did.
I,
He
I
got a
got I
little
got to
off.
I got
Got
to
a
see
little,
Dan for about 30 seconds at the beginning of the 5K before he was off into the
yeah.
distance there. So, Dan, as we mentioned, you are at Cleveland Metroparks. Cleveland Metroparks has a long history of doing really great interpretation. Cleveland Metroparks was one of the first organizations I ever saw working with QR codes, right? Like, so that's that I'm sort of dating myself with that a little bit, but certainly always on the cutting edge and doing great work. What is it about working with Cleveland Metroparks? What is the Metroparks? What is the organization's approach to interpretation? Why is it something that they all or you all prioritize?
Yeah, I mean, Cleveland Metroparks is, I mean, there's a reason that we're best in the nation, one best in the nation.
Whoa.
Yeah, five-time gold medal winner. There's a reason for it. They value their employees so much. They take such great pride in what they do and what their mission is, and they use their platform to inspire people in Ohio and across the country and across the world. And I think, just being part of that and being part of this organization to really, when you come into Cleveland Metro Parks, you see what their mission is and you see how seriously things are taken, how seriously they take their mission and their goals. So like when I came here a couple of years ago, I just realized that and I ran with that. I love what I do and I'm so blessed and happy I can do what I do. So I just take their mission and I really run with it. And I make sure that I am held up to that standard and not only try and meet that standard, but exceed expectations in programming.
So, Dan, when we held the conference in Cleveland a couple of years ago, I had the opportunity to go around and visit some of the Cleveland Metro Park sites. It's a huge organization. There is a lot of, you know, geographical location that is covered under Cleveland Metro Parks. Can you just
Mhm.
kind of briefly give our listeners like just a general overview on how massive Cleveland Metro Parks is?
Yeah, 25,000 acres, 25,000 acres in total. And it forms, this is kind of hard to picture, but it forms a necklace around the city of Cleveland. So if Cleveland's like in the middle, Cleveland Metro Parks forms a necklace around Cleveland. So it's called the Emerald Necklace. And I mean, there's reservations as far east, like 30 minutes east of downtown Cleveland, and that's where I am. I'm on the east side in North Chagrin Reservation, and it goes all the way out towards, Sandusky. It doesn't reach that far, but it stretches a great ways west, goes south a ways. We have five nature centers within Cleveland Metro Parks. So, yeah, so I'm at North Chagrin Nature Center, but they're scattered around the reservations, and it just gives people an opportunity. They're the educational hub of the Metro Parks. So it gives people, if you live on the east side, you have one. If you live on the west side, you have one. Down south, you have one. And then I think we have 10 golf courses or something. So there's so many recreational opportunities in Cleveland Metro Parks. And on top of that, most importantly in my eyes, I think as a naturalist, it's a wildlife sanctuary. Like every single reservation is just a sanctuary for wildlife, for people to enjoy, for animals to thrive. So there's something for everyone. I mean, our motto is your place, your time. So it's just it adds up.
Hearing you talk about Sandusky, Ohio, I'm reminded that it's a real place and not the fictional home of Callahan Auto Parts from Tommy Boy. Um, Dan, you started
Yeah.
talking a little bit about the work that you do and your role in particular.
Mm.
Before we get into that, how did you get involved in interpretation? You're relatively, we haven't really established this yet. You're relatively new to your career in interpretation. Last year was your first NAI conference.
Mhm.
And, we've had a long history of folks who are with Cleveland Metroparks involved with NAI, including several board members currently right now with Terry Joyce and Deb
Yeah.
Knopfsinger. How did you get involved with interpretation and Cleveland Metroparks?
Yeah, great question. So I'm from Warren, Pennsylvania. Shout out to Warren, PA. It's a small town, northwestern Pennsylvania, just home of the Allegheny National Forest, and that's where it started for me. My love for the outdoors, and when I finished up at Penn State University, go Nittany Lions, I I like kind of was in the animal care, like caring for animals, like, do I want to just care for animals? And then when I moved out to Ohio, in the heat of the pandemic, unfortunately, right around 2020, my first job was just a seasonal job taking care of captive animals at a wildlife park in Sandusky. And part of my gig was doing like small impromptu education programs with the animals that they had at this park, some of the animals they had there. And I just I fell in love with it. Like I loved expressing my passion and love for animals and teaching people about them. Like it was so cool just seeing people that maybe had a misconception about snakes or didn't know something about snakes. And then I had the opportunity to share like what I know and what I'm passionate about with people. So yeah, a wildlife park out in Sandusky, Ohio was the start of my interpretation journey, kind of just doing educational programs for people. And then I had a couple other jobs kind of in the Cleveland area, doing educational programs at the Cleveland Museum of Natural History was one of them. And yeah, ended up with the Metro Parks in March of 2023. So I'm about to celebrate 2 years here, and I'm not looking back. I'm all gas, no brakes.
You are like full throttle right now.
I am,
So
I am.
2 years with Cleveland Metro Parks. Um,
Mhm.
you really are going full steam here because you submitted a session proposal for your work with wildlife cams in your
Mhm.
programming, um, which was received and you presented it. It was really awesome.
Thank you.
Do you want to talk a little bit about the wildlife, well, yeah, wildlife cams in that
Yeah,
project?
yeah, I'd love to. So yeah, that's one. So yeah, this project, I started October of 2023. I kind of just had this idea. It kind of went back to my time growing up in Pennsylvania, and my dad and I, we would set up like our own wildlife cameras, so motion activated cameras in the national forest, 518,000 acres of land, right? So we would just set up cameras out there and just see what wildlife like we would get. And it was just so cool. And it was just kind of like a hobby and like something my dad and I did. Like it's such a fun memory. And I kind of just brought that out here. I pitched it to my supervisor. I'm like, hey, like, what would it be like if we got like a wildlife cam and set it up in North Chagrin? Like, wouldn't it be cool, like seeing what's out there, and then we could teach people about what animals actually are in the metro parks? And that's how it started. Like, we got funding. I got a grant for the project too, and yeah, I was just able to set up like five cameras throughout North Chagrin Reservation, which is 2,000 acres, and we capture these videos of animals undisturbed in the metro parks. And then we use these videos that they get, coyotes, raccoons, white-tailed deer, barred owl, you name it. And we use these videos in programs that we do here at North Chagrin. So if someone's doing a beaver program, they can pull up this beaver footage of the animals that are right here in North Chagrin. And it really hits people because it's like, wow, this animal is here? Yeah, yeah. 20 feet from where you're standing, that animal was. So it really puts people there and it gives them perspective and it's a deeper connection than just like, oh yeah, we have barred owls here. Yeah, good luck going to find one. So it's just kind of this deeper connection and it's been so much fun. It gets people outside too.
Have you ever had an experience where someone is watching the wildlife cameras and sees an animal in distress and wants you to intervene, but you can't because that's not why they're there. It's there just to watch nature and all of its glory and sometimes horror.
Yeah, you know what? That's funny you say that, Paul, because what's the footage is so raw. The footage is raw. Like you never know what you're gonna get. Like you could get nature at its finest. I mean, you guys can put the pieces together like you could. And
The
I
zookeeper, those monkeys are killing each other.
yeah, so I go through the footage first. So like I get the SD cards, like I see what's on, and I'm like, okay, we'll keep that, we'll use that. We won't keep that. Like, yeah, you'll see my face when I'm grabbing the camera and getting the SD card. Do you see my face? People don't want to see that. I cut that out. So yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, it's so cool that you mentioned that you started, kind of as a hobby with your dad,
Yeah.
putting out wildlife cameras. And so
Yeah.
many of the connections um, that are relatable, right, for your visitor is some sort of connection, most of the time with their parent, right? Oh, my parent took me to this national park. Oh, you know, my mom and whatever took me to the zoo and we saw the monkeys trying to kill each other.
Yeah.
Um, so how do you kind of create that sense of place and that, you know, connection with visitors in at your site?
Yeah, I mean, I'm super passionate about this song. I have a quote right here at my desk. And the quote is knowledge follows love. And I think that's the foundation for interpretation. I think it's a foundation for the outdoors. I think it's the definition of so much in life. And for me, that's where it started. It started, and I talked about this in my presentation back in December, is that for me, it's love. It starts with love. I didn't want to be a scientist. I wanted to be out in the woods with my dad, seeing white-tailed deer, fishing, and just all these animals and the mystery of the forest. And these animals are so cool. And that's where it starts with me. So I use that platform now with people is that I just want to bring people out, expose people to wildlife and to wild places. And they turn and wow, they love it. They think it's awesome. And that's all I want. Like, I don't want you coming out here trying to be a scientist and trying to one up everyone. That's not what it's about. If you fall in love with it, then you're conserving it. Then we're setting up the next generation, of naturalists or interpreters. So when I do programs with people, I share my passion. Like I express myself, and people think I'm crazy. Like they're like, "Man, you're so passionate. You're so energetic." It's because I love this stuff, and that's what I try and kind of hopefully inspire people is just inspire that love because that's what I think that's where it starts.
So a couple of years into your career as an interpreter, and it's a career that people will stay in for decades sometimes, right? Like this
Mhm.
is there's a lot of loyalty in the field of interpretation.
Mhm.
What has surprised you in your first 2 years of employment? What's something that you could look back and tell your 2 year ago self just starting out with Cleveland Metro Parks, hey, look out for this because this is either positive or negative about interpretation, something that surprised you.
This kind of dawned on me a couple of years ago or last year when I went through CIG training is I just learned that like say less because like you come in and you have all this knowledge in your head. And I think there's a quote that's like fire hose and the naturalist. Like the naturalist has so much information in their head and they just want to spill it out to everyone. And that's what you want to do because you have this information, but no, you're gonna overwhelm them. So I think it kind of hit me when I went through CIG is like say less. Like you just want to spark curiosity. You just want to put a spark in them. And that's what you want to do. And like some people will catch fire. So I think to answer your question, like that's what I realized. I'm like, wow, like I'm coming in, I want to teach everybody everything. But no, you tell stories. You tell stories, you touch people's heart, you connect with them. Like you just don't lay a bunch of information into them.
That is, honestly, that's so wise. It's like it feels so obvious, but it's hard. right? Like it's hard when you know something and you want to share it to just stop and put it in your back pocket. That's hard.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So, what are some of the other challenges that you're facing, not necessarily in Cleveland Metro Parks, but just kind of in the profession of interpretation?
That's a good question. Yeah, I mean, I think just learning how to grow. I mean, I heard this last week through Heather's interp talk, and it's kind of sit with me a little bit that you do these successful programs, you have successful programs, you have successful events, and they make you feel good. Like you feel so good, you're happy, but like you don't really grow from that. You grow from the times that don't work or something didn't go your way. You know, a program failed, an event failed, you know, like you had to adapt, but you just didn't make it work. So I think in my young career, like that's where I'm kind of learning. Those are some challenges that you want rainbows and sunshine. You want every day to be like that, but you don't grow during those days. You grow when it's cloudy and when it's rainy. So those are just things that everybody goes through in their career, but I know I am, that like, hey, you just gotta, that's how you learn. That's how you grow. Take advantage of the opportunity.
What advice would you have for someone who's just starting out now in interpretation?
Patience,
Hmm.
patience. I mean, you want to rush into it and you want to rush into it and you want to knock everything out. You want to be top dog. You want to be on top of the world, but you got to have patience. You got to learn from people. You got to learn, especially when you're first starting out and you don't know everything. You have to be humble. You have to be humble but hungry. And there's a lot of people that know a lot more than young interpreters, such as myself. So just be like a sponge, absorb everything that you can. Go to conferences, present at conferences, attend Zoom meetings. So I think just patience, pump the brakes, and just learn from a lot of people that are around you. This field is full of great interpreters, so be a sponge.
When you talk about going to conferences, obviously we met you at the most recent NAI National Conference, as we mentioned. And that requires a certain amount of organizational support, which obviously is something that Cleveland Metroparks does. What inspired you to, not only participate in the conference, but to take that step of presenting to your peers? I mean, that's not a simple thing to do early on in your career.
Yeah, thank you. It lined up with the kind of the start of my trail camera project, and I I live and breathe that stuff. I mean, it goes back to, the foundation of that project with my dad. And it's just something that I live and breathe and was so passionate about. And I just thank my supervisor and my manager and the staff here for supporting me and giving me the okay and tying up all the loose ends, crossing T's, dotting I's, and making it happen. So, I mean, in the big picture, I kind of had the easy part, but I'll admit it. I'll admit it right here on the podcast. I was nervous. I don't know how many walks I had to take before my presentation just to kind of get my mind right. But it was just the project. I was so passionate about the project. It was a great opportunity, and just going down to Florida and that whole atmosphere and being around all these interpreters that I can learn from. And I wanted to take advantage and share something that I'm so passionate about and so fiery about with other interpreters that, hey, maybe they can use in their field, but just put this message out there. So it was just something that I was bound and determined to do.
Well, Dan, you are really, you said earlier, be like a sponge, right? Really absorb things and
Yeah.
participate, right? That was something that Tom Medema in his closing keynote at the conference mentioned, right? He always raised his hand for stuff, right? And that is how he advanced his career. That's how he grew his networking base and connections. Um, and you've mentioned a couple things now, just in this short time we've been talking to you. You are very involved in NAI. You've attended a conference, you presented at a conference, you join our Interp Talks, you join webinars and other meetings. How do you feel like that is helping shape you as an interpreter and then, giving you additional support in your career? Because obviously you do have great mentors, you've got a great supervisor and manager at your site. A lot of interpreters don't have, mentors within their own organization. So how important is it to you to kind of expand that and reach out to NAI for those additional elements of mentorship and professional development?
Yeah, I mean, it's so important. It's so important. I'm so happy that I got wrapped up with you guys, with going to the conference, meeting you guys, staying in touch with Heather, because it opens so many doors that you didn't know were open. Like walk right through them because they're open, and you guys are here for us. I'm in Cleveland, Ohio, and you guys are in Colorado, but that distance doesn't matter. Like you present so many opportunities to take advantage of. And I think for me, what it's done in just these last few months is it's just opened my eyes up to so many opportunities and so much growth. I mean, I can't tell you how many times in the interp talk with Heather, I love the topics. They're things I didn't think about. And the way people answer, that brings new ideas. And like I'm writing stuff down as people are talking because we all can use that. And it's just so beautiful that, people say a lot like, hey, this field is small. Yeah, yeah, you're right, it's small. But then again, it's not. There's so many people across the country. I see on Interp Talk, people are tuning in from Colorado, Florida, Alabama, me from Ohio. So you're not alone. Like if you don't have a mentor right there with you at your center or your facility, I understand that can be hard to overcome, but you guys present mentors. You do. I mean, you guys are mentors. So, I mean, it's just a comfort.
Interp Talk, by the way, if you're listening and you're not familiar, is our usually twice a month Zoom meetings where folks get to just come together and chat about all the issues in the field of interpretation. So it's yeah, and that's coordinated by Heather Manier here on our staff. So if you're interested, Heather at nai-us.org. Dan, before we let you go here, first of all, we were, I think we were all kind of charmed by the fact that your very first ever flight that you took in your life was to go to NAI's national conference, and then
Yeah.
obviously you had to fly home. Have you
Yeah.
flown again since then?
I have not. I know, we only have a couple minutes left, but I'll just touch on this is I've had opportunities to fly, like I have, but like I've always just drove or like the trip didn't happen. But what's crazy about your profession is like the NAI conference is in St. Augustine, Florida. Like, you got to fly down. Are you serious? It happens. It made me do it. I was so naive and green to everything, the airport, flying. I went with one of my coworkers, thankfully. But now I'll do it again. Like, I'll fly to Alaska tomorrow. Like, it was a great experience for me. So it just made me do it. I didn't have an option. I couldn't drive. Work was like, hey, you're flying. All right.
Nice. Well, Virginia Beach, November 11 through 15, where you can defend your title in the 5K, which that's it's just, I mean, obviously not related to interpretation, but that's obviously a serious interest of yours, and you're training for some races right now. What's your interest in running? How did you get involved in that?
Yeah, I'm talking about my dad a lot. This is cool. Yeah, so my dad was as a runner, I'm sure he could still lace him up and do pretty good, but he I don't have anything on him. He did five marathons like in his prime. So I haven't done a marathon. I'm a 5K runner, so I'd like to do the Cleveland Marathon. He did the Cleveland Marathon. I'd like to do that one to hold up his honor. But yeah, my dad was into it, and I just got into it, and he passed down some talent. So I appreciate him.
I can tell you from experience that I still run now, as you know, because I did the 5K with you all. I have
Mhm.
done actually 4 full marathons,
Wow.
and they're all terrible experiences. So stick to the 5K. It's way more fun and doesn't take you 3 days to recover.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
My gosh. Well, Dan, thank you so much for being on with Paul and I. And just a
Mhm.
disclaimer for all you, new career interpreters,
Mhm.
you do need to come to a national conference, but you don't have to win the 5K. It's okay. It's okay. Dan is an overachiever, just to be clear. But no, seriously, Dan, thank you so much. And thank you so much for your passion and your work
Yeah.
that you're doing at Cleveland Metroparks
Mhm.
to enhance the field of interpretation. It's so cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, guys, thanks for having me on. Great to see you guys. And I hope y'all have a great spring and warmer days are ahead.
Hey, Dan, where can people find the site where you work online or Cleveland Metro Parks at large if they want to go learn more about the system?
Yeah, yeah. So online's a great way. www.clevelandmetroparks.com. Check out
Super easy.
North Chagrin Nature Center too. Shout out North Chagrin.
And interpreters, that's what's
That's
up.
what's up.
Well,